I was asleep in my mom's basement. I can remember how depressing it felt to be in that dark, muggy environment, alone with my adolescent dreams of a grand future, and how I never wanted my life to look like this when I grew up. And now I realize there was a single thing that was stopping me from leaving that mediocre life, and that was the path I was taking. See, ever since the beginning, I saw barbers work day and night to make a career and an income. Deep inside, I knew that wasn't the life I wanted. I knew that if I kept on that same path, that the people that have those results are the people who followed that path. And frustration, stress, and lack of money and time, and these are things that I didn't want. And the truth is, no one wants that. But people often decide to walk a path in life that is perceived as normal without ever questioning, where is it gonna lead them? And see, without ever questioning, you're just blindly working your life away in a constant cycle, repeating itself day after day, haircut after haircut, week after week, month after month. And you see it happen to barbers all the time. 10 years go by, they only raise their prices $10. Now, people ask me, Joel, if you were to start your barber journey over again, what would you do? And my answer is nothing. Because that's the wrong question to ask. The right question to ask is, Joel, not how, but who? Who would you need to become? Who were you becoming in year one so that I can emulate today, and then in 3 to 5 years, I too can be retired from barbering, retire my mom, and live in any country or city that I want? And that's really what I'm gonna deliver to the Purposeful community. In this program is a plan to achieve in 3 to 5 years what normally takes decades to learn. Now, before I give you this plan, you'll need 3 keys. 3 keys represents the biggest 3 epiphanies that I've had, the biggest reflection moments that really allowed me to get where I am today. In 5 years, 3 years, or 1 year from now, would you want to be doing the same thing you're doing today? See, the point I want to get across is this. Everything in your life really depends on the decisions that you make, the quality of your decisions, and the car that you drive, the places you go, the villa you live in, if it's beachfront or in a back alley in the wrong side of town. It all comes down to your decisions. It would be naive to expect anything unconventional to happen if you only take conventional decisions. Now, if I had took a conventional path, I probably would have the similar result as barbers who took the conventional path, stuck at a price point 30, 40, 50, 60, or 80. And it's funny because in the first year in the barbershop, I spent an entire year stuck at $35 a haircut. Mainly I was taking walk-ins. I would see a walk-in and then they would go to a different barber the next week. No one was coming back, and I was stuck around $3,000 a month, only taking people who liked me for my personality, not for my skill. And when I saw the clients go to a different barber in the shop after coming to me, I pretended like this didn't hurt. But deep down, I knew I was spinning my wheels week after week, not seeing progress, and my future was in the hands of some external force out of my control. Or so I thought. I felt hopeless, I felt discouraged, and I felt lost, and I was curious, am I even progressing in my journey? Now, listen, I wasn't the best barber starting out. I was pretty average, and I had a below average business in the start, and that might be similar to you. You may think that we're different, but really, quite frankly, we're not. And I actually have YouTube videos to prove it. I have YouTube videos to prove that I was an anxious 19-year-old awkward kid, and I showed up to Sacramento in thrift store clothes that were hanging off me, and I was riding a bike, and when the bike got stolen, I was riding the bus. Not to mention, in the hottest shop in town, I was the barber getting 3-star reviews. And honestly, I feel like the 2 years that I spent in that shop, I embarrassed myself. I embarrassed myself on a weekly basis. I had a client give a PSA on Instagram and tag me and say, never go sit in Joel's chair. I wasn't the best barber or the best me. I wasn't the best me either. I remember I used to smoke so much weed with some of the barbers in the shop that I would go try to do a haircut high and take hours. And I was living in the worst part of town in Sacramento, 16th Street, if you're familiar. So look, most of you guys aren't getting 2 or 3-star reviews on your shop Google page. You're not riding a bus or a bike. And most of you guys know how to do black masks and hot towels, all these public mistakes I was making on my Instagram. My point here is, if the 19-year-old, 20-year-old, awkward Joel with thrift store clothes riding a bike who's getting 2-star reviews can in a few short years be cutting celebrities, making multiple six figures, getting flown around by the best clipper company in the world, and go on to retire at 25, then so can you. Now, a lot of you guys, if you're watching this now and you think you're disqualified from retiring young or making multiple six figures or accomplishing your dreams as a barber, because I'm not from some big town where I'm around a lot of superstars, I want to remind you that you're only the one in the matrix when you believe you are. And for as much as I've achieved in this barber industry, I'm a regular dude. And I really started out without much confidence, and I wasn't well spoken, and I wasn't at an elite level of competence in the barbering profession. I really have 3 gifts that allowed me to make multiple six figures. I was approachable, charismatic personality. I would listen to the client. And overall, I was a risk-tolerant person. See, I'm just someone who noticed from an early age that most people never purposefully choose their path in life. They just walk this path that was laid out for them without ever questioning, where is this path going to lead them? And I refused to do the same. And if you're going to purposefully choose an unconventional path, then that is something that only you can decide. Once you realize that the normal repetitive cycle of the normal barber career is not an option, well, for those of you that want to become the best version of themselves in both their business, their physique, and every area of their life, then the next obvious question to ask is, what does this path take? See, most people never think about this, but different individuals evolve and experience their career differently. They experience growth and evolution and time and change differently. And taking this path of getting ripped and financially rich and retiring early, it's about finding people who used proven, cutting edge innovations in our industry and then jumping in and applying them for yourself. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the saying that money loves speed. Some people, even after decades of being a barber, everything still looks the same. They're in the same position even after decades of barbering. And my point is, why is it that some other people, in just a handful of years, the entire landscape of their life and who they have become completely changes? I'll give you a simple example. See, I'm sure you've seen the come up of countless extremely young barbers in recent years. And in the matter of a couple years, they go from charging 30 or 40 for a haircut to 100, 150, 200 minimum for a simple haircut and beard. I'm definitely one of those stories. And it must feel so frustrating to be working in a shop stuck at 35 like I once was, and you're seeing all these kids experiencing such fast and easy ascension to success, and you're grinding away day after day, struggling to barely achieve even a fraction of the results. And I can understand why that would be stressful. And rightfully so, because you're probably working 2 or 3 times harder. You're probably in the shop 2 or 3 hours more and getting paid a fraction of the amount.